Hello, and welcome to the final episode of
A Bit Touched.
A Bit Touched.
With Tony and Zach.
Yes, it is the final episode. Yeah, sorry guys. All four of you are probably depressed right now.
Mom, Dad, Tony's mom, Tony's dad.
our girlfriends. The reason being is that we are actually just doing a relaunch with a different name.
Yay!
Woo whoop! We are changing the name of this podcast to The Zach and Tony Show.
Yeah!
Which is the name of our web series, and throwing this name at the web series.
Boom.
And we're going to call that A Bit Touched.
Just makes sense.
Makes a lot more sense. It makes way more sense just marketing.
Marketing, the title A Bit Touched coincides better with the characters in the show, the web series, now titled A Bit Touched.
Right.
And the podcast is just Zach and Tony hanging out, fucking doing a show, you know? I mean...
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It makes way more sense.
I like it.
I like it too.
Ultimately, the goal is to get a Zach and Tony website, essentially. Call it who the hell knows what at this point, but it'll house everything
we do.
That we do.
All the
except for Man Called Noon, but
yeah.
But we'll link the shit out of Man Called Noon anyways, because why the hell not?
Because it's fucking ours.
Exactly.
We want.
As well as James Mano and the BOTs. If we're still drumming and kicking, if I'm still drumming for them and kicking with them,
yeah.
If I'm drumming for Liz Chittister, we'll post all the music shit as well up on the one website. So.
Yeah. So not really the last episode of A Bit Touched. It's just going to be A Bit Touched under a different name. The web series. Yeah. Also, the reason why it makes sense is because the writing that we're doing for the new season of A Bit Touched, we've started.
It's pretty touched.
It's pretty ridiculous. But also, we're also adding in,
other characters,
friends of ours who are better actors than us by far,
who are more enjoyable to look at.
Yeah, who are. Just better all around. And it's silly to call the shows that the
Zach and Tony show,
because there's just way more. There's going to be way more involved with it than just Zach and Tony.
When we were testing the waters last year with the Zach and Tony show web series, which I think we don't have to go back and do editing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we should definitely just lump those in with A Bit Touched.
We should
call that like a bit touched season 1.
Anyways, on the website for sure. When we get the website up and running, definitely. But it'll be a little harder because I think I got rid of all of the.
Like I said, we don't have to edit. You don't have to edit out the title sequences or anything like that. We can just
change the name of the YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when we were just testing the waters, we didn't want to rope anyone into anything that was just going to be pure shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying that first season is great, but it was enjoyable to do. I would say.
Well,
you, Logan, and I. And so now, why
all
not
three of us had a great time.
Yeah,
yes.
Why not bring other friends who we know we'd have a great time with, and into a second season? That
But as far as the name goes, I don't think I was ever happy with calling the web series the Zach and Tony Show.
No,
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
but some stupid, some
vain,
some vain.
But others were like, I mean, it doesn't ring very well.
No.
I don't think. It doesn't have a great ring to it. But
it doesn't make you want to... It sounds like a podcast.
Definitely.
It sounds like an audio podcast. Yeah. The title of an audio podcast, which is the reason why we're changing it over.
Mm-hmm. People who don't know us don't know what to expect.
Yes.
If we wanted to show them the show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If they don't know who we are, they're going to be like, Zach and Tony Show. Okay, yeah, sounds like a talk show or a podcast or something like that.
Yeah. And, the other reason we're doing this, like, we're going to do the relaunch here now is that... just a bit of background how we started this. We originally started this with the 3 mic setup. We bought pop filters, we bought mic stands. We were trying to be as professional about it, but we're still rolling with 1 mic because of audio issues that we didn't know after we bought these blue microphones.
Yeah,
these snowball microphones.
Which nothing against blue microphones or snowball or their snowball microphones.
I mean, it works well.
This one works well, and what they are reconfiguring their mics so that they work on our system, so that
for free.
I believe next week I should have them in my office this week, even as we speak right now. But next week we should be back to 3 microphones and a guest.
Because and a guest. Yeah, there is no guest today. We were taking this one off because I'm frankly I'm tired of not having I'm not having the quality be where it should be, because this microphone is set up with a conference setting, and that's what me and Mike are doing. We're sitting around one blue mic.
You mean Zach?
Excuse me. That's what me and Zach are doing. Did I say that's what me and Mike are doing?
Yeah,
that's
if
what
I was the microphone.
We're sitting around. That's what me and Mike are doing. We're sitting around one Zach,
and we're talking.
And we're having a conversation. No, we're huddled around this one mic.
Yeah.
And the quality is definitely not what it should be when I'm listening to other podcasts, and it bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
So there you go. We just expect better quality podcasts, better quality sound.
Yes.
Better quality writing, better quality acting in our show.
Yes. For the web series?
I mean,
dude,
just in general, a general revamp.
Yes, and I can't tell you how excited I am
and
about
update and upgrade.
You're excited about it.
About the new season?
Yeah.
Oh, the ones that we've written so far, I love all of them. Even the one that I just kind of spit out.
Yeah,
when
I
we
do
were
too.
Making Pico de Gallo.
I do too. Oh yes, I got into a bit of a cooking phase when we were writing there.
It was delicious.
Yeah, it was delicious.
We had basically what do you call that? Like a frittata or what?
Well, it was an omelet with shit in it.
An omelet with pico de gallo.
With pico de gallo in it.
But I'm sure that there's some sort of Spanish name for it.
Yeah. But for like the thing about this podcast and the web series and the writing we do, and it feels like the music that we make, or even like we're back in school, we're trying to learn how to act again. I fucking love just learning as it goes, and then fixing it as it goes, because like too often people get like held back, I feel like, by not knowing anything involved in this process of buying the microphones, of starting the podcast, and editing. Yeah, and what we just did was we just fucking just like, how do you do it? Let's figure it out.
And went for it. Yeah,
Or else it'll never fucking get up and running.
Exactly. Well, nothing ever gets done. If you want to do something, essentially, you've got to do it yourself, especially in this day and age. I mean, obviously there are tools to help you in your art form. Like if you want to be just an actor, you don't have to sit there and make your own shows. But if you want to make your own shows and you want to do the type of show that you want to do, you've got to basically take the initiative because of the internet. You
have to take the initiative. I feel like in everything that you're doing, but in acting, people get in this acting, comedy, writing, like they get in this thing where it's, I'm not getting cast, I'm not getting
shows, I'm not getting gigs, I'm not getting booked, I'm not doing yada yada.
And then they get depressed.
Like And then they don't do anything for months. And they try and reevaluate. Years or even years, shit like that. And then eventually they hit a wall of depression. They're like, I got to get back in there. But then they're starting from ground zero.
Happened to me.
Of course.
I mean, the same thing with music. People ask you, how do you start playing music? Well, hey, man, get out there and sell yourself and start a fucking band.
Buy a guitar, I guess.
I'm assuming whatever person I'm talking to already has a guitar, or else you're a real chump, and then just turn around and walk away. Stop talking to me. I'm just trying to shut you up. How do I play music? I don't know where to start. I don't have a guitar. I don't know how to write songs.
I can't sing.
Start there. Let's figure out how to sing.
Sing in the shower first, I would say.
So we're excited about the things that we're doing.
Of course, and you should.
Because nobody else is,
and nobody else is, and everybody should be excited about what they are doing.
Yes,
and you should promote what you're doing. You should not feel bad about, even if you're afraid that it might stink. It does feel weird.
It feels weird to have to push yourself.
Exactly, and it always is going to. I think, and there's always going to be some sort of feeling of, it's not going to be good enough, or people aren't going to like it. But it doesn't matter if you like it and you like what you're doing and you like how you got there.
Yeah,
and that's really all that matters.
But this is a conversation that me and you get into all the time, especially when I've been drinking. I bring it up. It's like how down people get, man. Like we're doing it right now. We're talking about it again, but how down people get, and they don't feel like they can learn anything new, and they don't. they stop themselves. They really do, because it happened to me, man. Like just stopping myself from accomplishing anything, and it was the worst time of my life. Like just depressing is all get out. Again, I was going through my divorce, and all that shit was happening around the time, so that didn't help.
Well, there's big events like that, but I find for me personally, which I mean, there's not to take away from your giant, because I've known you then, I've known you for years, obviously, and not to take away from that happening to you, and yes, it even
Absolutely.
getting in the way of your creativity and what you wanted to accomplish. But I find for me personally, even though there aren't big traumatic events like that have necessarily
Doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. I need to be on the lookout for that at every turn.
Every turn.
Every time I start something, every time I end something, every time I feel like, oh man, I'm not doing enough stand-up comedy. Well, it's like take one day a week. Yeah, just start with one day a week. Get out there and do it. At least. Just start somewhere, basically.
And also the whole thing was like, I don't know how to do something, and so instead of looking up how to do it, they just say I can't do it.
Yeah,
of
course.
And that like it puts up a wall.
There's absolutely
speaking for
no
me,
reason.
it's entirely speaking on my
think,
side of things.
Yeah, sure. I think that though that's pretty universal, and which is kind of silly because. I mean, you've got the internet. In this day and age, if you don't know how to do something, there's a very easy way to find it out.
Yeah.
Back when we were growing up, in school and shit, there was none of that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like,
no, for real.
When I started being in a band, I'm sure when you started playing music as well.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Napster.
Yes.
Being a thing, but there weren't like tons and tons of internet videos on how to play the drums or how to play the guitar.
Yes.
Shit like that. Like so.
You get some tabs.
You
tabs
did, you could get tabs.
That's what I was
doing. You could
doing.
get tabs. I also got tabs.
Yeah.
So I can't even really complain. It was fairly easy for me, but I still had to take that initiative.
Yeah. So that's like the whole like being motivated and staying positive is a big thing for me. And even if you're not positive about it, that one podcast that we talked about that Bill Burr did, where he was like his thing was just to try to do one thing a day. Mm-hmm. Just one thing a day. Like if you can say, I did one thing that was pushing me towards whatever goal you're trying to accomplish, and you can hang your head on that, you will feel better than if you hadn't. Obviously than if you hadn't.
His expression was put that day in the win column.
Right. Put it in the win column.
So if you can accomplish at least one thing, like even if the one thing is look up guitar lessons or look up cheap guitars or whatever the fuck, that's just an example. But if it's even look up where to get this first step, that's step number one, and you've done it.
But because I think the reason is because you get bogged down by the pressure of everything else you have to do. Like people start looking at D, and they should just look at A.
Right. Oh yeah. One step at a time, as it were. If you're an AA,
yeah.
One day at a time. And I mean, this is another thing that actually, we're actually just started yesterday is a little bit of a sobriety streak. We're just drinking coffee today. I was
gonna bring that up,
but I mean that's a one day at a time type of thing.
One day at a time.
You can't if you're what you said 30 days or 3 months.
I'm doing 3 months.
If you take 3 months and you started that yesterday and you look down at 3 months, and of no drinking for people like you and me, that's like, oh god, I can't do it. But if you're like, I just can't drink today, it's the same thing with like any kind of addiction is like smoking.
Right. Completely. Which I just had a cigarette. But
we're not putting
one thing at a time. I'm looking at A right now, Zach. I'm looking at A.
Exactly. Looking at A. Accomplish not drinking for 3 months, and then worry about the smoking.
Yeah. Well, just a brief explanation on that. I don't think we're alcoholics. I don't necessarily think. I think we drink probably a little more than we should.
Yeah.
But the main reason is, but when we do drink, especially me and you together, we tend to have a good time.
Right.
But just the money, saving the money to pay off.
That's your reason. Sure.
For me, that's the reason why I'm doing it.
Main reason.
That's
a great reason to do lots of things.
Yes. I got to pay off the Man Called Noon album. Mm-hmm. I think I've got around $13,500 left, maybe a little over. And just the goals that I want to accomplish. The drinking got in the way of accomplishing those goals, which is mostly financial for me.
Yeah.
Because usually I can wake my ass up even if I'm hungover and just get to work. It's just a little harder to get to work.
That's what they call a functioning alcoholic.
I was trying to explain this. Yes, I was trying to explain a functioning alcoholic to Jackie today, my girlfriend, and she just kind of looked at me out of the side of my eyes, out of the side of her eyes, and I was like, yeah, I am, aren't I? And she was like, whatever that means.
I
am functioning. I'm doing.
I mean, and I'm not trying to paint myself up to be an expert or anything like this, but when I got that DUI, several years ago, back in 2009,
you had to go through it
in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, they sent me to like a group therapy sessions.
Yeah,
which then in turn that group therapy. The group therapist or whatever sent us all to go out to do like one AA meeting a week. Because it was also AA or NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous.
So not really take the program, just
like dip your toes in, you know. I mean, because honestly, what I found from those meetings is it was a lot of people who were really just at rock bottom, you know what I mean? Just like they were voluntarily there. They needed that help. And so, I mean, you know, and that they do call it functioning alcoholic. You can call it what you want. I mean, if you have the wherewithal to really realize that it's sucking away all your funds, or it is getting in the way of doing one thing in particular, whether that be because of money or just sheer energy or whatever, and you have the wherewithal to at least figure that out and take a step back and analyze yourself. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't necessarily use the term alcoholic. Yeah, you know, but I mean, it's if you feel that. That's when you do kind of have to take a break and say, well, all right, let me see. You don't have to go to a meeting or anything. I'm not necessarily recommending a meeting, especially since I'm not really religious and the meetings rely heavily on Christianity. Yeah. But a lot of those people, you know, I mean, they're supportive, and it's a lot of trading one vice for another. For instance, we've been downing cups of coffee today. Sure. But that's going to be any type of thing, you know. It's figuring out moderation is really the key to existence in this century America.
How was the first day for you?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great because I went hard in Vegas.
Yeah.
Which is a great fucking segue. But I went hard. Vegas is just such a drain. Yeah. And you just do drink. You drink every day.
Explain. Well, see, Zach went to Vegas for his job, and if you don't know what his
9 days.
Not his music or the Zach and we don't make money off of it.
Right, yeah. My day job. I went there. My day job sent me there for
Mom and Dad, you know this.
For a convention. We did it for a convention, which is NAB. I'd like to give them a shout out because it's the National Association of Broadcasters. Right. It's the biggest convention for actually shit kind of like this. Not necessarily podcasts, because there are podcast conventions. Yep. But I'm talking about the gear that we're using here. The gear that we shoot and cut. Zach, a bit touched.
Adobe
had a huge booth there. We repped a lot of Adobe officials, things like that, like people who write the books on the Adobe software and teach classes and shit.
Adobe Premiere and Audition, and I'm excited about getting Audition. We're doing it on GarageBand right now, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, and that's silly tech stuff.
But
I was in Vegas, so the first day of sobriety for me to take it back because I'd like for you to get a shot at telling about your first day of sobriety was actually quite easy. The only hiccup was I went to a show of a friend of ours, Mixtape, which a lot of our friends are there. And this Mixtape is a great little theater piece where it's like you get a mixtape's worth of songs, 10, 12 songs, and you create little like choreographed theater sketches to the songs. The songs kind of underscore the sketches, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a good show.
But there's lots of booze involved. Yeah. They tend to. It's Audrey Deck Theater Company. I'll give them a shout out as well, and they tend to have cases of PBR that they just kind of throw at people. And so, of course, they were handing me beers left and right, and that was the hardest part. But I managed to, get through it.
That's like both my industries or what is this entertainment that we
call it the all encompassing
thing that we do, right?
Would be
and then bartending. So for me, it was incredibly hard. Yeah. Because I'm bartending a wedding reception in the bar, which was weird on its own. Yeah. We closed in the bar. It's a sports bar for a wedding reception. Lovely people, great
Cubs
people.
Fans? Blackhawks fans?
No, we weren't allowed to have the game on.
What?
TV's off. Actually, we had one TV on
In the back?
Yeah, well, in the front, but I was too busy working to really watch it. But there's like staff shots and stuff like that I never even think about. I just take them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even get me drunk, but I just take the fucking shot.
Right.
So there's like 3 of those.
Right.
And it's and saying no to those is like, oh wait, I can't. That's a shot. Like that's alcohol. I can't drink that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
What am I, a fucking idiot?
Right.
So it was a little hard. I was I wasn't about to cave. I don't think I was about to cave, but I was worried in the future that I might cave, and that kind of scares me. Like 2 weeks down the line, just cave for no reason.
Well, that's the one day at a time type of situation.
Yeah, sure is.
Because you're like, I can't do that now.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Now I can't take that shot. But we had Liz on the last time we did this. We weren't on here last week because I was in Vegas, but the week before that we had Liz, and she'd been sober for a year.
Yeah.
What
the fuck? I'm like over here worried about 3 months. She's been doing it for a year.
I mean, 3 months is a long time. 3 months is what, a third of that?
Yeah.
No, a fourth of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time.
Sure, I guess so. I'm not good at math.
But
how many fingers does it take to get there?
3?
No. Yeah, 3 months. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So 3 months.
No, that's nothing. She's on 12 fingers.
That girl's on 12 fingers of sobriety. It's crazy.
This week's review.
There we go. Give it to us.
The Zach and Tony show.
I will not be involved in it because I've never been to Vegas.
Now I love it. I love talking to people who've never been to Vegas about Vegas.
I hate it, man.
On the Zach and Tony show, our review this week is the city of Las Vegas, which I just came back on Thursday night, Friday morning from a 9-day trip that was essentially all business. I worked a little bit every day of those 9-ish days. I stayed at Treasure Island for 3 days, 2 nights.
Treasure Island.
It was nice. That was a nice hotel.
Cool. It just sounds ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. They have 2 pirate ships out in the front, and they every hour they shoot cannons at each other.
Yeah,
it's part of a show because the Bellagio fountains.
Yeah,
the famous Bellagio fountain.
I've seen those.
Shoots water like every half hour.
Yeah.
Well, the pirate ships in front of Treasure Island do a little show. In fact, there's lots of little shows like that, like little mechanical fucking shows of shit every hour on the hour or half hour, just sprinkled around the fucking city.
Sure,
it's insane. And it never stops. It never sleeps. If you think New York never stops, this shit. I mean, Times Square is about 4.5 miles. I mean, Times Square. The Vegas Strip is like 4.5 miles straight of Times Square.
Yeah.
And it's bigger screens, bigger lights, bigger shit. More people even sometimes if you're there on a Saturday.
Times Square is a fucking shit show too.
Times Square is a shit show. Same fucking people walking around in costumes. More naked women wearing just paint, naked, showgirls, fucking beefcake dudes with no shirts on, just like going up, arms stretched out to
trying
to hug girls to get them to take pictures with them, and then of course charge them money, of course, that kind of thing.
What a fucking horrible life!
Dude, man,
what a horrible life they must lead.
Is you go there?
How do they even have time to turn themselves into beefcakes? When they're fucking just out in the street all night asking for hugs?
Well, it's daytime as well, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those people are probably working like Cirque du Soleil or something like that.
Maybe.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm judging them too harshly.
Or the all-male burlesque show, Thunder from Down Under, which is sold out every night.
Now that's more my speed.
Nick and I went to see Crazy Girls.
Thunder from Down Under. Yes.
Dude, it's sold out every night. Nick's thing, my brother came to visit me while I was there as well for a few days, which was a great time. That was a great time. Him and Liz definitely saved me.
Yeah.
But his thing was like, it's the only one that the girls have, so of course it's sold out every night.
Sure. Because there's nothing but like...
It's all just ripped dudes, probably dicks spinning. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is there's probably just nothing but strip joints there called
strip joints,
titties.
For instance, Nick and I went to like an all-girl nude review that's the longest running in Las Vegas right now, called Crazy Girls.
Sure.
Super hot. Girls were so talented. so sexy.
Yeah.
Like great dancers, the works, and there's shit like that with girls, with
Yeah.
naked girls getting naked just everywhere.
Oh,
so
God.
like if all dudes like
Sounds
fucking
all right.
hard bodying out, no, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Vegas as a description, I could describe Vegas. See, this is why I like talking to you,
Yeah.
who's never been to Vegas, and I say this to everyone who's never been.
Yeah.
I could describe Vegas to you to a T, and you'd still be amazed.
I'd still not.
I'd be surprised. It would still blow your mind, and you'd still be surprised, and you'd still be amazed when you got there.
Yeah.
But then you'd be like, "Oh yes, this is what Zach's talking about." For instance, there are tiny little Mexican people clicking cards together and like kind of like shoving them in your chest as you walk down the street. Hookers on them with phone numbers for hookers.
Bullshit.
No, all up and down the strip, just little Mexican people.
How do you know they're Mexican? Racist, bro.
All right, well, little. At least
I'm kidding.
At least
I'm kidding, man. I'm totally kidding.
People.
I'm not trying to be the PC.
People
police.
call them little aliens.
Little. Jeez, that's a little racist.
There you go.
That's a little bit racist.
I could go there.
Well, it might be factual, but I'm not here to judge.
Yeah, right. I mean, but it's the town that's too intense to be there for any more than 3 or 4 days. To give it a rating. I guess we can't do a 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down type of situation.
Well, we each got 2 thumbs up. We each got 2 thumbs.
So we could do 4 thumbs.
4 thumbs?
I'm going to give it 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down.
So I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up because it sounds like a movie.
It sounds like a great
It sounds like a
thing,
movie.
When you go, I would love to, when you go, I would love to come back to this and re-review it and see what you think.
Well, I think, definitely. But I like the shit show. I like watching the shit show, especially if I'm there with a friend watching the shit show.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go to Wrigleyville sometimes and watch the shit show. But no one wants to go because I ain't going by myself because that place is a fucking shit show.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well,
Vegas is Wrigleyville every night.
Right.
Only it's giants and, all the other shit that goes on.
Ooh, texting. But also, I like to play blackjack. I'm fucking horrible at it. I've played it about 4 times in my life, but I could sit there all day and just drink and play blackjack. Just all day, drink and play blackjack. So I don't know, man.
Well, here's my prediction for you after you go to Vegas. If you go for 4 days or less.
Yeah.
If you go to Vegas for 4 days or less, you're going to love it even more than you think that you're going to, I think. But if you go for any more than 4 days and you get stuck there for one reason or another, whether it be for a job or a gig or whatever the fuck, you're going to end up giving one of those thumbs down. Now, I'm not telling you that you're the type of person that wouldn't love it, because I think that you are. If you're a gambler, yes, of course, that's an extra added bonus.
Yeah.
If you're a drinker, that's an added bonus. So that's 2 for 2 for you. But all I know is like it's vacation town. So if you have any sort of like empathy for humanity at all, you look at those types of people, the people that work there, the people that go there to vacation and just are the shittiest versions of themselves, and you look at them and you think, man, this place sucks. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome.
It's depressing.
But it sucks.
It sounds depressing.
It's awesome, but
now
it
you're making it
sucks.
sound depressing.
No, it's like I said, go there and have your good time.
Yeah.
Everyone else does.
Well, what we should do is we should go for a UFC event.
Yeah,
we should go for a UFC event.
That's coming up, like, what, in the next couple weeks, right?
Yeah,
they had advertisements.
Yeah, we're not going to be.
Well, of course not. But.
We should go for definitely for a UFC event. Like UFC, it's going to be fucking whatever the fucking number it's going to be a year from now when I actually get out there. But
retaliation,
and then stay for 3 or 4 days after that, and so we can just gamble and fucking drink, and definitely not have you work,
right?
And definitely not have you work,
right?
And then and see how that goes.
See how I feel then.
Anyways, what else we got, Zach? What else is on the agenda?
In case you didn't know, if you missed the last episode, go back and listen to it anyways, because it's a good one. But Ask Zach and Tony is the segment where we pull a question from a girl magazine, Cosmo or Shape or one of Glamour, whatever the fuck.
It has to be those questions from those magazines.
Those questions. Well, it doesn't have to be. If you find one from a magazine one day. But anyway, these people are expecting answers from real professionals in editing or in journalism. But instead, they're going to get an answer from Zach and Tony. This week's question is: my boyfriend likes it when I'm in control in bed, but sometimes I want to just relax and enjoy myself too. How do I get them to understand that?
Oh,
How do I get them to understand that?
they're having sex.
They're having sex in bed.
Like basically,
or her boyfriend just likes it when she's in control. Like,
or basically,
lay down, go to sleep, turn on the TV.
Yeah, I answer these too seriously, but basically,
you take them too literally.
I do. Well, because it infuriates me. Everyone talk to him about that.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's as simple as that.
And also, him stop being a selfish dick and go down in that pussy.
True.
Like, what are you like? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand being a selfish.
The lack of reciprocation from men, I guess, is probably. It seems like maybe women are just more outspoken about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand being a selfish lover either. So any ladies out there
on either side. Any ladies out there listening to this right now?
I am not a selfish man.
But no, I mean, it's as simple as communication, ladies and gentlemen. If you're feeling this way as well, this is a PC is the wrong term for this. This is an all inclusive society we're trying to shape and mold here, where you can be any kind of sexual being that you want.
Yes,
as long as you're fucking communicative and open, and you give as much as you get, like the Beatles say, or whatever the hell. And
it's not even close. It's not even close. You give as much as you get. It's something like
the love you take is equal to the love you make.
There you go.
Right? Like the Chris Farley show.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was awesome. The love you take is equal to the love you make. Yes, but just always, ask before you do something. That's a little too crazy.
Right. No
big surprises.
No surprise, 8-inch dildos up the ass.
Yes, none of those for sure, no matter which one you are. Definitely none of those for sure. Just
maybe if you feel like you should probably be asking, go ahead and ask.
Yes, it's just so still like, do people actually write into these fucking magazines?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was from recently. It could have been years ago. Who knows?
No, but I mean, do they make these questions up and they just answer their own questions?
Right, yeah. Like, who's actually writing this question?
Like, because what type of idiot sends that question in? Like,
that was from
obvious answers.
2013. So this is from a couple of years ago, but still. I mean, exactly. It's obvious questions with obvious answers.
Like a 12-year-old could tell you what's wrong.
Which is why
with your relationship.
Which is why we should broaden the segment to whatever magazine. Like, if we need to do some research throughout the week. But.
Sure, but those are good questions.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because
they're
fun.
Because they're stupid. Yeah,
they're fun to pick on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the thing about that question is, and the same as last week. There is no good guy or good girl or good guy in these questions. Both partners, I have a feeling, are always going to be like, you could take a side on any one of those partners.
Oh, right. Like, I'm sure he has arguments.
Or you can tear them both apart.
I'm sure she does things that I'm sure in this question, in this probably hypothetical question that some Cosmo editor made up.
There you go.
In this hypothetical relationship wherein this girl feels as though she's doing all the work, I'm sure this guy has a complaint or two about their sexual relationship as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, I immediately took her side. I immediately thought, why
she's
is this
the
guy...
one asking the question.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why isn't this guy putting the work in?
Mm-hmm. I also picture a real hot, big-titted, fat-assed, real sexy...
Yeah,
sexy chick who just works that dick all night and day.
Yeah, and me, I'm picturing biceps, hard biceps, like pecs, like
on the girl, or
6-inch cock.
On the girl, or the one asking the question.
I love how I said 6-inch cock. Like, that's big to me.
A big ass 6-inch juicy cock.
Because my cock is like 2 inches, so I'm just really surprised by a 6-inch meat hog. The dog's out there crying.
Oh, man.
Not gay, though. I'm not gay, swear to God.
No. Yeah, of course not. But, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to picture, just a super jacked, fit, hard-cocked, dude. Who just lays back and takes it all.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, man, totally. And, listen, I'm not gay, but picturing that, me not being gay, makes me...
While we're on this subject... Does the porn you watch
just kidding, not
usually
gay.
have dicks in it? Does the porn you watch usually have dicks in it?
I hate it.
You like lesbians?
Not well. Here's the thing. I make so many jokes about my sexuality. Like you know this. Like so many jokes. Like the 2 times I've done stand up. Like I like not that I'm a stand up comedian, but all my writing, all my jokes, like when I'm joking around with my friends, everything turns into a joke about my sexuality because I think it's fucking hilarious. It makes me laugh. You know.
Right.
But you know, as far as when it comes to like
watching it,
watching it and like what turns me on, like chicks, just chicks. I have friends who always say like, you know, sexuality is this thing. We're all a little bit of this. We're all a little bit of that. Which I think is true. I think it's true for those friends. But
not for everybody.
Well, it's just I get really turned on by chicks, I just don't. I've analyzed this pretty hard, like
of course.
So I just don't get turned. Dudes don't do it for me.
Well, here's the thing: is I get super turned on by chicks alone, chicks together, whatever the hell. But I think my go-to porn always involves a guy banging a chick.
That's the thing.
But that's a POV type of situation, like,
right?
Exactly. She's doing that to me.
I don't like girl on girl because you know I'm not involved.
I don't understand.
I'm not involved in that situation.
I mean,
trust me, bro. I understand that situation.
It's just so good looking.
Yeah, well, they're just like so happy for each other. They're both hot and they're fucking.
I mean, but
fucking.
it's like to me, it's as if, you know, they're hot and they're fucking and they're having a great time. Yeah. But if I'm looking at one chick who's super hot, maybe wearing something really sexy, I'd be like, yes, fuck yeah, hot as hell, boners. If I'm looking at 2 chicks who are also wearing sexy and they're making out, and you know, the one chick, I'm like, I could maybe talk to her, I could maybe get in with that. Yes. The 2 chicks, it's the same thing. It's like, what if I just in my fantasy land entered the room and was like, oh well, hey ladies, let's add me into this.
When it comes to pornos, I need to be able to see myself in that situation, and I've never had a threesome, so I don't even know what the hell that's all about.
Yeah, all right. Our last segment for the day, I believe.
From that to like something else.
On to something else entirely. This is our current events segment. This is a segment that we've talked about since we started talking about doing podcasts. This is something that was the top of the list, basically. Yes. Current events. Now, all of our current events so far have been pretty well. The women's chariot thing, the car thing, was pretty interesting and current and.
You don't think they've been interesting?
Political. Well, no, they've been interesting. But for instance, this week's is Game of Thrones. I believe it's a little bit fluffy. Game of Thrones, I'm sure, is interesting. And it certainly is interesting. Yes. Just because it's such a cultural phenomenon. But they've been a bit fluffy, the current events, and I don't mind it. It's just yeah.
Well, Zach has never seen it, right?
I've never seen Game of Thrones. Well, I've seen one or 2 episodes, namely the one where that the blonde chick, with the dragon there.
See, this. I should have been watching. Well, it premieres tonight, and I should have been watching all the past episodes so I can keep up with.
That's how current it is.
What the hell is her name? Well, fuck it. Let's listen. I'm no dummy. You can look this up. Got Google here.
So anyway, I watched that episode. I believe it's the first one where the blonde chick with the dragon there marries the just the jacked Samoan, like the Rock looking dude.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. And he's pounding her real nice and good, doggy style.
Jesus Christ.
And she's naked and whatnot, and it's real hot that. And then you know, later on in the episode, she goes ahead. This goes back to the Ask Zach and Tony question.
Yeah.
He's essentially in control, and you can tell that she's, you know, like not really enjoying it because he's a giant man. I'm sure he's got a real big hog, and he's just sticking it to her, but good. And she's like, this is, I'm not sure if I'm liking this. So the next day...
What the hell? What are you talking about?
This is the only episode of Game of Thrones I've seen.
This is not an episode of Game of Thrones.
It is so.
We are literally moving from the porn question, the porn thing we're talking about. We're putting it straight into Game of Thrones.
Would you just let me finish this episode of Game of Thrones I've
seen?
Man.
Go ahead. Finish this fabricated porno
and so
you were watching.
One of the next scenes in that episode, the blonde girl with the dragon there, who's now married to this, like, warlord guy, takes him and takes control in bed and, like, gets on top and rides him. It's real sensual. Also very hot.
Daenerys
is the girl's name?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, Daenerys is the hot blonde.
She is hot.
Yeah. So yeah, man, you watched a porno and you thought it was Game of Thrones. That's pretty much what.
I'm pretty sure it was episode 1 or 3, or it was an early episode.
Yeah, episode 1 and fucking 25. There's some hard cocks in there.
There aren't cock. There wasn't any cock. There were Demetrius's. No, that's a guy's name. Daenerys' titties.
Yes.
And they were very nice. And she was getting done real good and hard by the big guy. Doggy style. And then,
it was not.
Yeah, she was.
Dude, I gotta go back and watch these.
Yeah, watch it. It's the only one I've seen. This is how I know.
Well,
and then the other one where she's like riding them nice and soft, which was also real nice.
Yeah, so yeah. So Game of Thrones, which might be what you were talking about, which is probably what you're talking about. But there's listen, I'm super excited about it. It premieres tonight. I've officially missed it. But they're probably gonna re-air it. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna go on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about it, man. I don't know what else to say about it. You know, I should have been catching up with it, but I'm excited to see what happens with everything. With fucking everything. The White Walkers, the whole war. Where did it leave? God, that episode last season was on TV today where they killed that one little girl, put her on the stake and killed her by fire, and she was screaming to death as she died in front of her parents.
Yeah.
Dude, it was nuts.
I hear there's lots of death in the show.
There's lots of horrible, horrible fucking death in this show.
Yeah.
And there's lots of sex scenes too. Well, not really.
They usually start real strong with the sex on HBO, and then they kind of
taper it off of it because it's turning it became too popular and nobody wanted to show themselves anymore.
Well, and I think I think viewership actually really prefers more story than gratuitous sex at a certain point.
At a certain point, but they have gratuitous nudity still. Last season they had the queen there have this walk of shame. It was like this 10-minute scene where she is walking from this church.
And now I know the scene you're talking about because there's a whole thing about her body double.
Yeah, she definitely had a body double. It's been confirmed. But she, not fun to watch. I mean, she's a sexy lady and the body double, both sexy ladies. Not fun to watch because there's scenes where she's getting tomatoes thrown at her breast squeezed, her ass slapped. It gets pretty, and mud and shit thrown on her, and her get the shit kicked out of her. It's pretty.
Jesus.
It's pretty vicious, and it lasts forever.
Well, I'll have to check it out anyways.
Yeah, I mean... I gotta check it out anyways. Zach goes home, YouPorn's walking girl, nude walking girl, Game of Thrones.
Beat up. And then there's just no Game of Thrones.
Yep, saw it. Definitely saw it. Yeah.
Then she ends
up
getting...
my second episode of Game of Thrones.
I've seen 2 episodes now. The one where the blonde girl gets done from behind, and the one
real good and soft.
And then the one where the naked girl walks and gets shit thrown at her. Man,
I've seen 2 episodes. The one where she gets done real hard from behind by the rock, and then the one where this girl's getting the shit kicked out of her, but she likes it, and she's walking.
She totally likes it, man. Oh yeah. It's a great show,
Zach, you just watched 2 porns. You just watched 2 weird porns.
Well, that's, I believe, it.
That's the show.
For the first ever Zach and Tony Show podcast, formerly Bit Touched with Tony and Zach.
Yeah. Are we going to make this one? We'll make this one a bit touched. No.
Oh, okay.
We'll make this one the Zach and Tony podcast, right? You want to do that?
Well, I mean, no, this is the last A Bit Touched with Tony and Zach. Tune in next week for the first ever Zach and Tony Show podcast.
That makes more sense because we'll have our mics set up.
And we'll have a new guest, and we'll kick it off a little bit clean. But it'll all be in the same place. It'll all be in the same places. We may have a new Facebook page and Twitter or something.
Oh, definitely. I definitely want that. We'll talk.
But,
But, yeah. All right. Do we have a sign-off, or do we just... Oh, do you have anything going on?
Oh, yeah. Plugs. Well, tonight, I guess, if this airs indeed tomorrow, I'll be reading for Hamlet, and then Find me at Finley Dunn's on Tuesday nights, and then I'll plug later stuff with music later.
Yeah, Finley Dunn's Tuesday nights for his
for my stand-up comedy
open mic.
Mm-hmm.
For Man Call Noon, we just got confirmed for Rib Fest.
Woo!
We're gonna be playing that little festival there in the neighborhood. I'm excited about that. Trying to get confirmed for July 1st, House of Blues. Every time I think we're confirmed, we're not confirmed. But that'll be also be very, very fun. We're gonna pre-sale 200 tickets and get this shit going right. Hold a big show.
Yeah.
Gonna be a rock appendance day. That's what we're gonna call it.
June 4th?
June 1st.
June.
July 1st.
Oh, July
1st. Rock Appendance Day.
Rock Appendance Day. Maybe The Rock will show up.
Maybe The Rock will show up there too. Zach's like, oh, bro, The Rock was there. Started doing
this chick
from behind.
Started banging this waitress. It was awesome.
Man, I love Game of Thrones.
I didn't know you were gonna have an episode of Game of Thrones playing at your Rock Appendance Day.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much all I got going on.
And that's it for nice. I mean, hell, Ribfest is gonna be fun. That's right in the neighborhood, and then House of Blues sounds like it's basically a shoe-in.
Man, God, dude, it better be. I'm tired of working on it.
Well, next week I'll bring on some James Mano and the BOT show plugs, because we actually have some shit cooking now as well.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. But I don't have the information fresh in my brain, so
fresh in your brain stem.
So yeah, that's it for A Bit Touched with Tony and Zach podcast. Tune in next week for the Zach and Tony Show podcast, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah. Cool. Peace.